2019. Kindly settle down. We will start in the next couple of minutes. If you could kindly settle down. Leaders standing outside, if you could move in, we're going to start in the next couple of minutes. Thank you.
It brings together the best of the product community every year here in Bengaluru. All right, so it's been a terrific journey. We are on our 14th edition of NPC. And I think it's fair to say, just like our product ecosystem has matured over the years, so has NPC. So this year, like every other year, we're bringing together the best of the product community, the product entrepreneur, the wannabe entrepreneur, the early stage company, mid stage, product companies, growth stage companies, right? We have the large product corporations, the iconic, companies. We have the MNCs, GICs, etc. We are well represented by the VC and the private equity community. This year we have a very good mix of research and academia, so thank you to all of you for showing up here. Plus we've added a new dynamic to the conclave, and I'll just talk about that shortly. But before that, I just want to recognize someone who's been very instrumental in getting us through this journey, which is my predecessor, Ravi Gururaj. He's the ex-chair of the Product Council. Is Ravi in the room? Okay, Ravi, let's give a hand of applause for Ravi. Ravi is very shy and humble, but he's been hard at work in the back end, and he's done a terrific job this year as well, right? So it's been a fantastic, effort over the last couple of months putting together this show, and we'll talk about who the volunteers and the, partners and the champions have been. But it's a terrific show. Like I said, this is India's product showcase to the world, so absolutely delighted to be here. So the theme this year is Innovation Fueling India's Digital Revolution. I think it's fair to say Digital India is really taking off. As we all know, I think the good thing is we don't have a lot of legacy to contend with. So I think in many cases, we are leapfrogging our Western counterparts, right? So there's a lot happening across the country, across different businesses, industries, verticals, so on and so forth. And it's all being fueled by this massive innovation that's happening, right? And we'll see that throughout the conclave. I think all of you, the product people, the product champions, the product community, I think are driving that innovation, right? So I really want to applaud all of you and encourage you to have a very good conversation here. And I want to announce that this year at NPC, for the first time in India, we have some of our top business leaders in attendance. So we have the top digital CXOs. There's a new role that's got created in India over the last, I'd say 12 to 15 months, the Chief Digital Officer. In fact, we literally have half of the CNMOs, CDOs across India, across industries right here. And so I would really encourage all of you in the product community, all the communities that comprise the product community to really engage with business and figure out, where we go from here, where we innovate, how we can add value, to business, right? So we have an action-packed agenda for 2 days, terrific speakers, world-class, keynotes. So we're going to do plenaries here the entire day today and tomorrow. On the next room, Aura 3, we'll have some very focused summits. I'll just get into those. But the usual mix, right? We'll do a lot of connects this year with the digital CXOs. We'll do the showcase. The founder satsang has been a very popular format. We'll do that tonight. I think PK Gulati is going to run that. And then the experience zone, obviously lots of networking, so on and so forth. Talking about the summits, this has been months of work to get this here, so I really want to applaud all the summit leads, the summit teams. We're going to deeply focus and have very special conversations, and deep conversations around this whole area of deep tech. So basically AI, AR, VR, so on and so forth, right? So how are products being built on the back of all of that technology? We'll have a summit called AI-Fi, which is really how is business actually consuming that? Now, on the back of the digital CXOs here, I think we can have a very engaging and productive conversation. We'll talk about SaaS. We've seen, I think India, I personally say India has an opportunity to be one of the global leaders when it comes to SaaS. I think it's still early days, and we're seeing some very promising signs there. Go-to-market, so how does a product business scale to the next level? How does it become a world leader, right? We're going to talk about that. Then we'll have mini summits around health tech, fintech, blockchain, funding, IoT. So all very, very relevant themes in today's, context. All right? So what else? We're going to do the Emerge 50 Awards. I think the Emerge 50 Awards have become bigger and better every year. So we started with about 350 companies, boiled it down to 50. There was jury rounds that happened across the metros. And tonight you'll see the top 10 Emerge 50 awardees being facilitated at the award function. And again, a lot of focus around AI and deep tech, right? And applied to different verticals and very interesting use cases. We talked about Digital India. I think that's where the rubber meets the road, right? And then we'll do a product showcase throughout the day. So I encourage all of you to check out all the latest, greatest innovation that's happening, across the board. And then, business connects. I want to recognize a couple of people who've brought the digital CXOs here. Jaspreet Bindra, is he here in the room? Okay, Jaspreet, there you are. Yeah. Very nice to meet you. And by the way, thank you so much for bringing, the community here. Thank you. And then Arun Seth as well. Is Arun Seth here in the room? Yeah. Hi, Arun. So we've had some real champions who've really helped bring in business people. So it's going to be a very, very unique format this year, right? Again, share of roundtables, a lot of discussion around funding, which is very important, right, for the startups. And then this is something very unique we're doing here. You'll see that in the summits. Subindra and Milind are going to talk about that. We're actually launching a deep tech club. We're putting our money where our mouth is. And literally, we're going to try and help mentor, incubate world-class, deep tech companies out of India, including in collaboration with academia, and also help them scale in terms of revenue and business and so on, right? I just want to introduce the new product council. My co-chair, Shom Datta Singh, she's here. The other product council members, could you stand up, please? I'm not going to go through the names, but we're very well represented by all the segments of the product ecosystem, from early stage, mid-stage startups to, the MNCs, to venture capital, advisory, mentoring, consulting, marketing, so on and so forth. So very excited to be working with some very passionate people, right? And this is what we're up to, right? So the event here is a culmination of all the work that happens in the back end, but we're again focused on a couple of pillars. We want to do a couple of things and really try and make an impact. One is around the whole deep tech. The other is around academia collaboration. The third is around bringing business together with products, right? So with that, let me just quickly end here and say that this is really about engagement, right? And having conversations. I think all of you are very smart people, very, you've achieved a lot in terms of your product journey. So I think if we could share our experiences, I think that's the best thing we can get out of the show. Again, please, help people who have not made it to the show to understand the conversation that's happening here. So if you could all blog, tweet, use LinkedIn, Facebook, Live, so on and so forth, that'll be great. With that, I just want to finally thank all our sponsors. Without all of you, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to introduce our co-host for the show, MR Rangaswamy. MR typically doesn't need a introduction. He's such a cool guy. So MR has come to us from the Bay Area. He's been co-hosting NPC for, I think, about 8 years. He's been a legendary executive in Silicon Valley, angel investor. He's the founder of Sandhill.com, and a really funny guy. With that, MR, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Is everyone ready? Yes? We'll let the show begin pretty soon, but great to be back here for the 8th year. I think it's the 8th year, I forgot. And I had a very interesting experience yesterday. Those of you who are my friends on Facebook would have seen that when our flight was going to take off, that the captain had to delay the flight because the dal was bad. And I'm not kidding you. Go take a look at my Facebook post. And the airline should remain unnamed. Okay? But needless to say, we got new dal on board very quickly in 45 minutes, and we made the flight to Bangalore. So that was my experience coming here. But great to be here for the 8th year. I think this ecosystem continues to grow. When I first started working with Sangeeta and Devika, I think we had a few hundred people in the whole event. And now it's good to see a few thousand people at this event. So the way it's grown, I think, shapes well for the country as well. Today, we're going to keep everything on time. So I won't take much at this point other than to invite the chairman of NASSCOM. He's the managing director of Quatrro. And we had to, hang on, you don't need to get up. I have to tell a story. So keeping in touch with the tech community last night over a couple of drinks, we made sure that Raman was not going to wear his suit today. Okay, he was ready with his suit and tie. We said we have banned it from the show. So Raman is the managing director of Quatrro. He's widely regarded as the father of the BPO industry. Please welcome Raman Roy.
Thank you very much, MR. Yes, folks, it's true. I was going to wear a suit. And then I was told the option is you wear the pant but not the jacket. So I went and bought new jeans, guys. They are spanking new. But thank you, MR. 8 years, you said. I think out of our 14 years, 12 have been in Bangalore. So good morning, Bangalore, again. And the 8 that MR was here were all in Bangalore. One of the most exciting events that we do, very exciting speakers, and Atul spoke about what all you'll see. I think the entire startup ecosystem is shaping up into a digital powerhouse, which is the theme that we use for this conclave. We're going to be, by 2020, a $1 trillion economy in digital. And that is not a mean achievement. I was with the minister when we announced it. And actually, we did the back of the envelope calculation. And the minister was about to say, how can we say it will happen by 2019 instead of 2020? Because it is going to happen. But more importantly, you guys are going to make it happen. And that is the fundamental change that is happening. The technology disruptions, whether it is AI, whether it is blockchain, 3D printing, robotics, are fundamentally changing things. AI is being used for existing products to change the customer experience. And I know a couple of companies that are using AIs to create products. That was unheard of just a few years ago. Cybersecurity is going to be big. We've just been hit by a few ransomwares. I think it's only a start, unfortunately. But the fact that people will need protection, and if you go by statistics, the only aware people and companies that will come up with that protection are out of this country, are the product companies that some of you will really create. 2016, there was a kind of a funding winter. We spoke about it. Now the focus is back on businesses, businesses that can scale up. ROI is again being spoken about. Customer experience and tech solutions is being spoken about. And I can tell you, I can see a change. I was just joking with some people in the audience here. When I came in, the entire first row had little signs that said reserved. And I looked at it, and there was nobody sitting on the first row. Now that, to me, coming from Delhi, is unheard of. In Delhi, whether it's red light or green light, we think it's only for the show that we put lights on the road. We don't. In traffic, those lines on the road, we think they are just extra paint that has been put there. But more importantly, I think typical entrepreneurs do not go by those standards. And I said changing times because in a product enclave, I saw people following rules. And I asked myself, should I be delighted or should I be worried? And I still don't know whether it is delightful or worrying to see that entrepreneurs will follow rules, because innovation will not happen with rules. Skills and jobs are going to be the future. We, out of this room, are going to create those jobs from a job seeker to a job provider. That is a fundamental change. Atul spoke about a lot on AI, SaaS, fintech, health tech, the internet hub. All these focus areas will bring in jobs, and you guys will play a role. This summit will bring out a kind of a thumbnail sketch of what the future is going to be, our 14th summit. And then at our 15th, we will again sit and evaluate what we accomplished and what we still need to do. NASSCOM is playing a big role. We play the catalyst. We bring in the various communities that will be there. And if you just look at the agenda, and Atul brought it out, to see the various communities that we are bringing together here, and year-long, the Product Council under the chairmanship of Atul and those wonderful people sitting there, they foster and create an environment that allows these product companies to succeed, to be able to treat your dreams, your innovations into real businesses, to be able to create value, to be able to fulfill the needs of the customer. So as we do that, I welcome you to this summit. Have a wonderful day. I look forward to being with you as we go through this journey. Thank you very much.